The other morning I posted a video with Rishi Sunak talking about how they're going to give police more powers to stop protesting and things like that. Proper petty right wing stuff. Let's play it again so you can see what I'm talking about.
Since the October 7th attacks in Israel, we've seen protests across our country almost every weekend. Many of these have been respectful, but there have also been far too many appalling examples of anti Semitism, violent intimidation, and the glorification of terrorism. This must not stand. I've asked the police what powers they need to bring order to our streets. As a result, today, we are setting out measures that will ban fireworks and flares that intimidate communities and have put our police officers in hospital. Stop people from being able to climb on our sacred war memorials, and stop people from covering their faces to conceal their identity and evade arrest. Those who abuse their freedom to protest undermine public safety and our democratic values, and I will give police the powers they need to crack down on this intimidating and appalling behaviour.
Now, this probably won't reach Scotland because criminality and law and order and all that stuff is a devolved power. However, it doesn't mean that in the future they will do a little bit of constitutional wrangling to make this happen. This is just another positive reason for independence where we can never be suppressed or potentially suppressed by terrible ideas from Tory parties and future Labour parties as well. Because let's face it, the Labour Party as a whole are not really designed to be positive towards Scotland. For example, Keir Starmer promised to bring in public services into common ownership, things like, the Power, Water, Rail Mail, all that stuff, right? But it's now backtracked. I mean, he said there's no way that he could bring in energy companies into common ownership. There's no way that he's going to do water or anything like that. This is just like, hey, we're really quite left wing, but we're not really. Another interesting thing that we have to look at with regards to Keir Starmer is they said that they would stand shoulder to shoulder with the trade unions, but then he ordered all his front bench shadow ministers not to attend picket lines during the strikes, and even sacked quite a left-wing MP for going and attending strikes. That again shows quite a hardcore shift away from the natural values of the Labour Party. So between potential suppression of our ability to protest not just international things but our own government, and the sort of shift from Labour's ability to appeal to the common man, what can they truly offer Scotland? There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing that Labour can offer Scotland whatsoever, apart from their ability to look like fools and for independent leaning parties in Scotland to take away their vote. Now, the latest poll at the end of January shows a landslide win for Scotland, with the SNP winning 40 seats in the next general election. Labour gain seats, and the Tories are pretty much trounced to about 2 seats. That's awful. Awful. Fancy constituencies still voting for the Tories. We also need to look at what constituencies Labour are gaining in, because we want to campaign hard there about what Labour can't offer Scotland. They can't offer us anything, like I said before, apart from looking like idiots and pushing votes towards independent leaning parties. However, you have to also remember the facts on this. Labour do not need a single Scottish seat to win the election. All they're campaigning for is to make independence look insignificant in Scotland. So let's start looking a little bit more closely at Labour's backtracking, broken promises, and the ability just to look stupid and start campaigning directly on this. Some voters just they don't look past the surface, do they? Anyway, you have a great day.
That's hot.